Hey guys, what's happening? So today we're still going to be dealing with rational expressions, but we're not going to be graphing them. Phew, thank goodness, right? Today we're just going to be simplifying expressions like the one you see here, or we're going to be multiplying expressions like this together, or dividing expressions and then simplifying them. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start off with something like this first, okay? So go ahead and copy that down. And here we go. All right, so this guy right here shouldn't come as any surprise when you see that this is a trinomial. You're going to factor that, and underneath we have a difference of squares, so you're going to factor that too. So watch what happens if I factor this. Okay, this first guy, trinomial, they always factor into something like this, don't they? Okay, and so we know x times x gives me the x squared, and we know 3 times 5 gives me 15. One of them is going to be negative, one's positive. Well, if I'm trying to get negative 2 of the x's, it's going to be negative 5 times x plus 3 times x. That gives me negative 2x. And positive times negative gives me negative 15. We're good there. And then below, that difference of squares factors into x plus 3, x minus 3. And if you notice, these two guys cancel. Now, you can only cancel as long as everything is being multiplied together, okay? So we have this guy multiplied to this guy. We have this guy multiplied to this guy. You can cancel, okay? So we're left with x minus 5 over x minus 3. Let me show you something really quick. A lot of students say, oh, now the x's match, so I could cancel off the x, so I get negative 5 over negative 3. You can't do that. You can only cancel when things are connected by multiplication. Let me show you something that don't do this, okay? Let me show you something a lot of people do. They say something like this, 3x plus 2 over 3x, right? And students say, oh, yeah, the 3x cancels with the 3x, so this equals 2, okay? No, okay? Do not do that, okay? All right, so you can only cancel stuff if we have the exact same thing, okay, or things are connected with multiplication, okay? All right, so please remember, if you see something like that that looks tempting, if there's something added to it, okay, then you can't do it, okay? Over here, I know it says plus 3, there's something added to it, but I'm canceling off that entire x plus 3 times that x plus 3. And remember, that is being multiplied to this, that's being multiplied to that, okay? So keep that in mind. Here we go. Let's do part B. Let's multiply, then simplify, okay? Multiply and simplify. And let's try something like this. Do I have anything really fun to do? Here, I'll just do this one. 2x squared minus 10x, okay, over 25 minus x squared, okay, times x plus 3 over 2x squared. All right, so here's how it's going to go, all right? Notice that this is being multiplied to this, okay? So a lot of times if I just see a binomial like that, x plus 3, I'm going to put parentheses around it because there's nothing I could factor out of it. So I put parentheses around it to let me know that this entire thing is being multiplied to that, okay? The first thing I do, though, I make one big division bar, okay? And I look at this first binomial right here, 2x squared minus 10x. They both have a 2x in common, so it's 2x times what's left, x minus 5, right? Okay, times this x plus 3. Remember, you're not going to write x plus 3. That is not correct, okay? It's times that entire thing, so put parentheses around it, okay? As long as you have everything in nice, neat little parentheses, you're good to go. This 2x right here, if you wanted to, you could put parentheses around it, but don't worry. Everything's being multiplied here. 2 times x minus 5 times x plus 3. That's what you want. You want everything to be multiplied, and that way you can cancel stuff. This guy right here is difference of squares, so this is going to be like that. This is 5 plus x, 5 minus x, and here we have a 2x squared. So we have a 2x squared. We can't cancel anything out of there, okay? Now, there's a few things here. I don't know if you guys notice, but this x minus 5 is not the same thing as 5 minus x. Watch this. If this was an x plus 5, yeah, that's the same thing as 5 plus x. But here, x minus 5 is not the same thing as 5 minus x. Notice here the 5 is positive, Here the x is negative. Here the x is positive and the 5 is negative. What if I factored out a negative 1 out of this? Okay, what if I factored out a negative 1? Watch what would happen. If I factor out a negative 1 out of here, right? Okay, I'll put that negative 1 there, times 2x times, what would this turn into now? Well, if I factor a negative out of a negative, that turns into a positive 5. So I'll just go ahead and write positive 5. Factor out a negative from a positive, right? That turns into a negative x. So now I have 5 minus x, okay, times x plus 3 all over 5 plus x, 5 minus x times 2x squared, okay? All right, and now look. Everything, this times this times this times this over this times this times this. We're good to go. We can cancel stuff. 5 minus x now cancels with 5 minus x. Okay, so remember, if you want to flip those guys, just flip one of them by putting a negative 1 out in the front. Okay, all right. 5 plus x doesn't match with x plus 3. You got to let that one go. Okay, the 2 cancels with the 2. One of these x's right here cancels with this x right there. Okay, so now let's see what we're left with. We're left with a negative, right, times an x plus 3. So this is negative x plus 3 over, we have a 5 plus x, and we also have an x there, so I could put an x. And then 5 plus x, that's the same thing as x plus 5, so I'll just write it so it's in that same order. Okay, so there is your final answer. You could also, if you really wanted to, okay, since nothing else cancels, you can distribute that negative in here. So you get negative x minus 3, okay? You could put this, negative x minus 3 over, and you could have x times, I would always say just leave it like this, x plus 5, okay? Your book is going to do all kinds of crazy stuff. If you look at the answers in your book, they're going to say all kinds of different ways, okay? They might even say this. They might even have negative x minus 3 over x squared plus 5x, okay? And you're going to wonder, well, how do I know what's the final answer, okay? The final answer is basically once you've canceled everything you can cancel, you're pretty much at the final answer, okay? So the main thing is get everything factored, okay? So everything is multiplied, okay? And then cancel what you can, and you're pretty much done, okay? That's the main thing you want to do is cancel as much as possible. All right, let's do one more example. Part C, divide and simplify. All right, and let's see if I could find something that's really wonky. Here, let's just do this. Example, I have 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 over 6x, okay, divided by 2x squared plus 5x. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but do you remember back in, I don't know, first grade with Mrs., or no, not first grade, what am I thinking? Sixth grade with Mrs. Hodges or something like that? You had something like this, 1/5 divided by, I don't know, 2 over 10 or something like that, right? And there was a trick, okay? Remember what that trick was? The trick was to turn that into multiplication. So you have 1/5, you turn this into times, and then you flip this guy, you write the reciprocal. So that's 10 over 2, okay? And then you can do all kinds of weird stuff, but mostly you can say, well, this is 1 times 10 over 10, okay? Or you can say, oh, the 5 cancels with this, and that turns into a 2, and then you get 2 over 2, which is 1, whatever, okay? So basically the trick is turn that into times and flip that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do over here. So now watch this. I'm going to write this as 2x squared plus 3x minus 5 over 6x. I'm going to change this into times, and then I'm going to flip this so it's 1 over 2x squared plus 5x. Now, follow the steps from part B. Multiply and simplify. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to make one division bar, okay? This is a trinomial. I'll go ahead and factor that, hopefully. I hope it factors. 2x times x gives me 2x squared, okay? 5 times 1, I'm going to go ahead and put the 5 here times the 1 there, okay? And I need a positive 3, so positive 5 minus 1 times 2x, so 5x minus 2x is 3x, okay? Times 1, I don't really need to write a 1 there, okay? There's a 6x here, so 6x, okay? This guy right here, what do they have in common? An x, so I could factor out an x, Okay, and then I have inside, I have a 2x plus 5. Ooh, look at that. That matches. So I can notice everything is connected by multiplication. This times this, this times this times this times this. So everything's connected with multiplication. I can cancel. This guy cancels with that guy. And now look what I'm left with. I'm left with x minus 1 over 6x squared. Okay? And that's the gist of it. Okay? Certainly you'll run into problems, but I'm here if you need me. Just email me or Zoom with me during office hours. I'm totally happy to help. All right? Good luck, guys. Talk to you soon.